Video is about the anatomy of the transverse abdominis muscle of ruminant animals. The transverse abdominis muscle is the deepest muscle among the four abdominal muscles, which include the external abdominal oblique muscle and also the internal abdominal oblique muscle, as well as the rectus abdominis muscle. This muscle contributes to the compression of the abdomen during urination, defecation, expiration, and parturition. In this video tutorial, I will provide some literature on the various aspects of the anatomy of the transverse abdominis muscle. The transverse abdominis muscle is named according to the general direction of its fibers. It lies in the lateral and ventral abdominal wall. It is, or it can be divided into two parts. There is a lumbar part and also a costal part. The fibers of this muscle are oriented transversely, perpendicular to the linea alba. This muscle can be seen as a deep sheet on the deep face of the internal abdominal muscle and also the rectus abdominis. Its fibers pass ventrally and medially in a transverse manner towards the linea alba. The lumbar origin of this muscle is aponeurotic, whereas the costal origin is mainly fleshy. In terms of its origin, this muscle originates by broad short tendons from the deep lumbar fascia, and therefore indirectly from the first 5 lumbar transverse processes. It also has another origin from the medial surface of the false ribs, meeting the costal attachment of the diaphragm. The other origin is from the transverse fascia and the condomedial surface of the 13th rib. In terms of its insertion, the muscle inserts on the linea alba, and the aponeurotic insertion is intimately associated with the peritoneum. The muscle acts to retract the ribs, and also it plays a part in abdominal compression. The nerve supply is from the ventral branches of the lumbar nerves and also the last 6 or 7 intercostal and costal abdominal nerves. The blood supply is from the cranial branch of the deep iliac or deep circumflex iliac artery, and also from the musculophrenic, the dorsal intercostal, as well as the lumbar arteries. So the transverse abdominis muscle has structures related to it both on its superficial side as well as on its deep side. On its superficial side, the transverse abdominis muscle is related to the internal abdominal oblique muscle, the internal intercostal muscle, the retractor costae, the rectus abdominis, and portions of the false ribs and their cartilages. On the deep side, this muscle is related to the peritoneum, the xiphoid cartilage, and a variable amount of subserous fat. You have now come to the end of this short video tutorial on the anatomy of the transverse abdominis muscle of the ruminant animals. Therefore, you should be able to describe the structure of the transverse abdominis muscle. You should be able to state its origin, insertion, action, nerve supply, and blood supply. And also, you should be able to name some anatomical structures that are related to this muscle on its superficial and deep sides. Thank you for watching and listening.